Here to discuss stories making news in business is Journal Record editor Ted Struley. Ted, a survey on hiking the minimum wage gave mixed results. Tell us more about it.
That's right. This was a survey commissioned by Express Employment Professionals. And what they found in that survey was that a substantial number, just shy of 40%, said they would have to lay people off. About 50% said they would reduce hiring, and something like 68% said they would have to raise prices to customers if the minimum wage were to go up to $10.10 an hour.
Oklahoma bankers are in the nation's capital to challenge a federal law. What's that story?
Right. Well, Roger Beveridge, who's the CEO of their association, led a group of about 30 bankers back there to try to whittle away a little at the Dodd-Frank Act, which they say is just too heavy-handed and too restrictive, especially for community bankers. They expect that to be a long fight and to make many more trips to Washington.
Banks had a good year in 2013.
They sure did. There's a formula known as the Texas ratio that quickly and simply measures kind of how solid a bank is. And in the latest data that came out on that, it showed that the Texas ratio in Oklahoma banks ranged from just 1 to 10%, which is very low and suggests a very stable industry here.
There are plans for new building development in Oklahoma City's Bricktown. Tell us more about that story.
Well, there's about a 5.9-acre site just south of Bricktown on Southeast 4th Street that's been a lumber yard since the mid-'80s. That site's under contract to a company called Interior Properties out of Tucson, Arizona, and they're speculating about building a high-rise hotel and 2 apartment towers there, but they are also pursuing other developers to work with them and other ideas.
And Oklahoma City is getting another championship sporting event.
Yeah, long-distance triathlon is scheduled here in September of 2016 at Lake Hefner. They expect some 900 athletes from 30 countries to be here for that.
A survey of Tulsa workers came up with some interesting results regarding their commute to work.
Yeah, they started doing some research, especially on sort of the fringes of Tulsa that are less developed, and found that most of the people working in those areas are either commuting from other parts of Tulsa, and a surprising number commuting all the way from Oklahoma City.
What are you working on for next week?
Well, there's an interesting situation we've learned about in Norman where the city has agreed to sell water to a drilling rig just on the edge of town. It's the first time we know of that potable drinking water has gone directly to a drilling rig. We're going to take a look at that in Monday's paper.
Ted Struley, editor of the Journal Record. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.